Okay, great. So we all know that social media is a great way to connect with a ton of people in a relatively small amount of time, right? So we've been growing our businesses, many of us, for the entire length of time that we've been promoters on social media. And social media is always changing, right? Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of that, they're always changing their algorithms. They're changing how they get content out to people. And that's not always for the best for us. And I think we can all agree that over the past few months, we have noticed it being substantially harder to connect with a large audience as easily as it used to be, I guess is what I want to say. It's harder to do it than it used to be. And that's due to some of the changes they've made to those algorithms, some of the changes they've made to Facebook groups in general. And many of us learned in the beginning to host a small private Facebook group that was closed off to our individual customers and members, that we wanted to keep that tight, so that we made sure that we were talking to people that would become our customers and weren't necessarily customers of other people. That has gotten harder and harder to do, to get those people into your groups, because of some of those regulations that Facebook has put into play. However, this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the line for a network marketing or a community-based marketing program, right? These businesses existed before Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or any of those things ever even existed. So there's plenty of ways to continue to grow our business and even expand our businesses more than we had imagined, beyond just these little Facebook groups. So that's some of what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. First of all, one of the things that many of us have started to do, and I think I've had mine for maybe the past, like, let's see, I've been drinking and sharing ketones for 20 months, and maybe about 4 months into my business, I started a public business page on Facebook. Okay, it is the exact same name as my group. It is Lazy Keto Mom, and the Lazy Keto Mom business page is actually an admin of my Lazy Keto Mom Facebook group. Okay. Now, how is that different? Why is that important? And is it something worthwhile for you to do? In the beginning, no, it's a little bit overwhelming. So it wasn't something that I was like, hey, everybody needs to go out and get a Facebook page set up for their Facebook group. And here's why. When you're first getting started, you watch your mentor, you watch other Facebook groups, you do a lot of copying and pasting of content, right? You find a recipe that you like that looks good, and you might make a couple tweaks to it. But for the most part, you're like, all right, I'm just going to use this. This is a good picture. This is a good recipe. This is a good post, whatever. And you do a lot of copying and pasting. That's all fine and good in a private Facebook group, because it's only limited to those specific people seeing it. Once you go out into a Facebook business page, a public page, and that it goes the same for Instagram or TikTok or anything else that's public, you need to really make sure you're creating your own content, right? You don't want to copy and paste someone else's recipe or someone else's photo because of copyright violations, right? So if you're not ready to get into creating your own content, then you can set up a Facebook business page, but you don't want to start posting a ton of stuff in there that's just copy and paste, if that makes sense. It's better to have your page with no content on it except your information than it is to have posts that are plagiarizing someone else. Okay. Does everyone understand that so far? All right. So let's see here. What can you do with that Facebook business page, though? You can put all of your information on there, right? You can set it up to be an admin of your group. That way, if people block the admins in the group, I can block Sam, I can block Lindsay, I can block an individual person. You can't really block a page as an admin, right? So that's one of the ways around people blocking you in your own group, is to have that business page set up. Additionally, if you have a page set up like that, you can invite friends very, very easily, right? You can send that page out in your private Facebook friends list, right, on your main home profile, very easily to get people to like your page. So that's also very, very good. But this is the neatest thing that I just learned recently, because I never really thought I had a lot of content to put on a page like that, right? So yes, I would make recipes, but I'm not one that usually likes to cook that much. I'm not that great at taking photos, right? Like I've been working on that for the past 2 years. But so I was always struggling with what to put on that page. Well, as we progress through this training, we're going to talk about things like Instagram Reels and TikToks and simple content to put onto those kinds of public pages. All right. So just basically right now, you should just know that there is a Facebook business page that you can create for your business and link to your private group. All right. And if you have questions about how to do that specifically, we're not going to touch on how to create that page right now. We're going to more touch on what to use it for. All right, so that's number one. You can create a page and it can be an admin of your group. They can be linked and you can put content out there for public consumption. I'm actually going to try to show you here real quick. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So if I get into Facebook, this is my Facebook group, right? So you can see all the content that I have here. People post in here, right? Like I've got my video of mixing up my ketones this morning and all the basic stuff. This was a live video, all the basic stuff that we usually do, right? If you look up, it should be here under members. Okay, you can see under admins and moderators. One, I have my daughter set up as an admin. If you do not have a second Facebook account, use a husband, use a best friend, use your mom. Have someone set up as an extra admin just in case for some reason you get locked out of your own account, right? If somebody hacks you or whatever. So that's a little bit of a side note, but make sure you have another admin set up. And then you can see my Lazy Keto Mom business page is set up here as a admin. When you go into this, all right, you can create posts just exactly like you create posts in your other group. But what's nice about this and what makes this worthwhile is that people can share your posts right from here. And that is not possible in your private Facebook group, right? In private groups, they cannot share content outside of the group. So if you look at, let's see where my posts are here, right there. So if you look at this, you can see how many people saw this, and then I can also usually see how many people shared it, right? So all of that information is right on your business page, okay? But so if there's a recipe that does really, really well on my Facebook group, I can pop over here onto my page as long as it's my recipe and my image, like these cucumbers, right? I can share that onto this page and then anyone can share it to anywhere, right? Just like they would a TikTok or just like they would an Instagram reel or anything like that. So that's the benefit of having a public page as long as you are using your own content, okay? All right. So what are some ideas? I'm going to pop out of here for 1 second. There's my Zoom. All right. So what are some of the benefits of making your own content, right? Here are the things that I have found just in the past couple weeks that have been really, really beneficial to me. My face looks really red. Holy crow. Anyway, so whenever you make that content, let's say I make a post for my Facebook group, okay? And we'll use the cucumbers as an option. So the cucumbers went over well in my group. I took a picture of them. It's my picture. Nobody else can claim it. I'm sure someone out there has put cream cheese and everything bagel seasoning on their cucumbers before, right? But I'm not claiming that I invented the recipe. I'm just saying, like, this is the recipe I used and this is my photo. I can then turn around and share that to my business page. I can share that to my Instagram stories. I can share that to my Instagram feed, and I'm just recycling that same picture and that same post, maybe with a tweak here or there, depending on my audience, right? So like if I'm going to Instagram, I might add a couple extra hashtags, or if I'm going to do that same exact recipe on TikTok, maybe I'll record it as a video, but you're using that same content over and over and over and over again, rather than having to come up with something new 15 times a day, right? We don't have time to create separate recipes and posts for TikTok, for Instagram, for Facebook, for whatever. So reuse as much as you can. All right. So that's basically the majority of Facebook. All right. So if you're not just using your Facebook group, the only other real thing you can do other than posting on your personal page is posting in a business page. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Instagram. Again, this is public, right? So lots of people are going to have access to your content. You want to make sure it is real and it is actually your content. So take those same posts and reuse them. All right. In your feed, I do not post in my Instagram feed every single day. In fact, I don't usually post in my Instagram feed once a week. However, I am trying to post in my Instagram stories and reels every single day, because that's where Instagram is growing right now. All right. So if you're curious about how the algorithm works for Instagram, you can always go into YouTube and watch videos about it and so on. But basically what you need to know is that if you want to stay relevant and you want to keep growing, you need to keep up with whatever the newest trend is that each platform is using and pushing. All right. So sure, Instagram started out as just a photo sharing app, right? It's not as much about photo sharing anymore. Now it's videos and stories. It went from photo sharing to stories and now to reels, and they just keep changing it. They want their users to use their newest trends, right? They want them to use their newest little tweaks, and they will push the people that are using them higher and higher in the algorithm, right? So if I'm posting every single day in my feeds and it's just photo, 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 I'm not going to get as much traction as I am if I am posting reels, reels, reels in my stories every day, talking to people, engaging with people in those ways. It's a totally different dynamic. That doesn't mean that you don't still need to do, I just blanked on the word, feed. It doesn't mean you need to post, don't need to post photos in your feed. It just means that that's not as important as it used to be. Okay, so what about stories? Stories are easy. Okay, I was so intimidated by Instagram stories probably 6 months ago. I was terrified to do them. Even 3 months ago, I was just kind of starting to dabble in it. Now I post in my stories every single day. So that can be literally as simple as whatever quote you post in your Facebook group in the morning, at the same time, post it into your story, right? Maybe add a little bit of music or add a little sticker or a little word or something, but you don't even have to do that. It can just be your quote. But throughout the day, whatever you're doing. Today, I went to the park with my kids. I went for a walk around my local park. I snapped a picture of myself with my bottle and said, like, I'm getting in my exercise today. Are you? And then I did a little poll. Yes, I sure am. No, I'm not, right? I'm sitting on my ass. That will get people to engage with you. These are simple, simple things that can make a difference in people watching you and getting to know you and then transitioning into customers. All right. So that is all your content, right? You can use a quote right off of Google. If you copy and paste a quote, as long as it acknowledges the author, right? So if I use a quote, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. As long as it says whoever said it, or it says anonymous or whatever, you can copy and paste that right from Google. That's totally fine. You just can't pass it off as your own. The same thing is if you want to try to brand yourself, and let's say you do post a quote every single day, and you go onto Google and you find 30 different quotes that you're going to use for the month. You can make those in Canva. You can just recreate that exact same quote Again, just make sure that you give the author credit, right? But you can say like, I'm going to use gray with pink letters. My background is going to be gray with pink letters, and I'm going to retype every single quote, all of those 30 quotes onto a new little Canva with a gray background and pink letters. Totally fine, as long as you tag the author, right? But those are simple things that you can do. And then you can, again, reuse that in your Instagram feed. You can reuse that in your Facebook group. You can reuse that on your Facebook page. All of that stuff brands you, and it gets people to know that that is your content, right? Without even needing to know that Lindsay, typed that up. If they see that every single one of her quotes is gray with pink letters, the next time they see a quote that's gray with pink letters, what are they going to think? Oh, that's Lindsay, right? So these are ways to make yourself stand out. And it's not hard, right? If you haven't played around with Canva yet, and Canva is not the only program, but if you haven't played around with a word program like Canva or a photo program like Canva, just mess around with it a little bit. It can be Word Swag, it can be PixArt, it can be basically any one of those things. Play around with it a little bit and go ahead and just start creating little things for yourself. And maybe 30 quotes for a month is too much, but you can start with just a little bit and see how it goes and play. And if you don't like it, you can always change it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So back to stories. So you can post your quotes. You can post the things you do throughout the day. You can just post pictures of your kids or your life or your husband or whatever you're doing in your stories. Along with that, gets people to know you and brings that content to them. They start engaging in your stories, they're going to see your other content more frequently. Instagram will boost that up in their feed for you. Okay. Now, the one thing that I was really worried about when I started anything with Instagram, and this is something that I've just learned over the last little while with TikTok as well, was hashtags. I did not and still don't 100% understand hashtags. However, they are imperative to use when you're using any of those other social media platforms. Again, not as much with Facebook, but definitely important with Instagram and TikTok. So this is my recommendation when you're just getting started. Number one, look for hashtags that are trending, right? That you see have a lot of views just to get you started. Because when you click into those, you'll find other ones that relate, right? So let's say I am following a hashtag that's keto for beginners, and I type that into Instagram and I'm like, okay, keto for beginners. And I start scrolling through the photos that come up. You're going to see other ones that have the same kind of things, right? Lazy keto, dirty keto, I don't know, keto, easy keto meals, keto beginner meals. Like you'll see other ones that start coming up and you'll be like, okay, I can use that. I can use that. However, if you even want something a little bit more simple, I'm going to show you what I use. And there are a ton of different ones, but let me pop on here and share my screen again. I clicked the wrong button. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is one of the apps that I use, and it's just called In Tags. All right. So this is all you do. You go up to the top up here and you can type in your whatever keywords you want. So we're going to go with low carb snacks. We're going to go with keto mom. We're going to go with breakfast. I don't know. What else can we go with? Any other ideas? Easy snack. Whatever. It can be anything that your post is about. So you type in your up to 6 keywords and then you click generate. And it's going to give you several different groups of hashtags that you can use. Look, so this first one here has 30 different hashtags listed in here. Okay. And it tells you how many thousands of views each one of them has, or how many millions of views, right? So breakfast has 104.4 million. Easy snack ideas, 5.6 thousand. Okay. So, and I can literally just come down here and click copy all. Right. And it'll show me an ad. I don't care about the ad, whatever. It's copied. I can go into my page or into my Instagram post. I can go into my TikTok, whatever, and I can just copy those hashtags. Down here, these ones are hashtags that have smaller amounts of views. All right. So you can choose, like I could choose to copy the lower amounts of view ones or the higher amount of view ones or whatever. And once I go into a post, I'll show you real quick. I can also, let's see. Once I go into that post and I paste those hashtags, I can also go back in and go, okay, like I don't really like, low carbs, whatever that one is. And I can take that out, right? You're limited to a maximum of 30 hashtags. So if I take one out, I can always put in something else. I personally use Lazy Keto Mom for all of mine. So I would probably take one out and type Lazy Keto Mom in here, right? So simple, simple, simple. And those are a lifesaver when you are just learning how to use hashtags. Any questions so far?
Yeah, what is the name of that app? You just literally blew my freaking mind with that shit.
It's called in tags. So like Instagram tags, just IN tags. And there's a ton of different ones. Some of them you have to pay for. That one happens to be free. I like try to not pay for anything if I don't have to. But that one's a really good one that's free. So, okay, let me take a breath for a second. Any other questions before we move on? All right. So I'm going to totally change gears and then we're going to come back to this because we're going to talk about TikTok later. But I'm not ready to get quite there yet. You post on a personal, Instagram, or business. Amy, that's up to you. I know people that have done both. I think Sam has both. I have both. I initially was afraid to post on my personal page because I wasn't sharing with friends and family that I was doing this. So I created my own like group Instagram. Now I kind of wish I would have just stuck with my regular one because my name's all over everything anyway, and everybody knows that I'm doing this anyway. So what was the point of sort of having a separate one? There really wasn't one. But if you're not comfortable using your personal Instagram, then you can certainly create one for your group. Mine is a creator account. It is not a business account. It's a creator account. So anybody else have a comment on that, what they do? No? Okay. But yeah, so if you have more comments or more questions about that, let me know. But yeah, I just use a creator account and I do have one separate for my group. Okay. But so let's say like you're just not having success with social media at all, right? You're overwhelmed. You're like, I need to step back, but I don't want to give up on this business. I know what it can be. I know how amazing I feel with ketones. I want to help people. There are so many other ways to share that do not involve social media at all. And that's what I started to say at the beginning, right? So before social media ever existed, there was network marketing and community-based marketing. So how do you get to know people? How do you get customers, right? First of all, think along the lines of an old Tupperware party, right? A lot of us have talked about keto life parties before, and we do some of them virtually, which is fine, right? I've done numerous keto life parties virtually in my group. But the very first day I signed up as a promoter, I went to an in-person keto life party that happened to be right here in my hometown. And I'm telling you now that things are opening back up and COVID is sort of dying down a little bit from the standpoint of being able to get together and like gatherings and so on. Keto life parties are the bread and butter of this business. There are champs that are way above me, rank 10s, legends that have built their entire business from in-person keto life parties where they have invited people. They've had their promoters invite people, their promoters have invited people, and they've had these huge parties where people come in, they try the products, they learn about them, they learn about the benefits of them. The party that I was at, the very first day I signed up as a promoter, someone came in, it was at a gas station, I'm not even kidding you. It was literally at a gas station. They had a little cafe inside and they set up a table with little cups that had all the different flavors. You could try every different flavor. And someone walked in, tried ketones, and signed up as a promoter that day while I was standing there. No lie, I'm dead serious. But think about it. If you have a friend that has never tried ketones before and you want to invite them, and then you say to them, like, hey, do you have 2 or 3 friends that might be interested in trying them with you? Do you want to host a party? Do you want me to host the party and you bring your friends over? There are so many different options. You can literally do it like a Tupperware party where you say, like, if you host a party and get so many people there, like, I'm going to give you these rewards. And then if they host a party, I mean, Samantha and I have talked about this numerous times before. It is totally, totally possible. If you live in an area where you know that there are several of the promoters around you, get together and do one, right? One of you host it, both of you invite people and have them invite people. And all you have to do is say, like, okay, whoever invited you here, that's who you place your order under, right? There are so many options. But if you're not even comfortable with a keto life party, there's even other options beyond that, right? Terry gave us a call a few weeks ago about doing vendor parties. You can do bridal shows. You can set up a table literally at a yard sale or garage sale. In person is a totally legitimate way to grow this business, right? Belly to belly. That's what Brian Underwood says all the time. Belly to belly, right? So completely possible. All you need to do is set up a little table, get yourself some bottles where you can mix up some different flavors. It doesn't even have to be all of them. It can be a couple mainstays and a couple limiteds. Set up have little cups that you can dump it out for people, dump it into cups for people. Let them try it. And then this is my little trick. I think this is brilliant. When you're right there with them, have them check out the challenge link and log in. And it now links them to you, right? They're now in your back office as a person in your community that you can then reach back out to and send emails or flow desks or however you want to do that. Set up a little right on a phone or right on a tablet, have them log in, watch the video on the challenge link, and they're now in your community. And that leads us to Flowdesk, which is a whole nother training and story. But if you're not using Flowdesk, reach out to your mentor and ask how to get hooked up with that because it is super helpful. All right. Any questions while I take a breath for a second?
Lesley, this is awesome because I think even just Facebook group can get a little stale sometimes too. Like you might just get a little bored with it or it's just something different. But one thing I just want to mention about what I do with my public page is I do kind of sneakily grow my my group page. I'm finally getting my voice back. With my business page. So what I'll do is when I make original content or I have original content, PS, Canva upgrade is basically giving you free templates for content, by the way. When I make something that's mine, I will post it in my page and then I share it to my group because then I have content in my group for the day, but then I'll share it to other groups. So if I post like a low carb recipe, I'll share it to like my area code's 518. We have like a 518 low carb recipe group. But what I do is in the original post on my public pages, I tag my group as a link. So you @ tag my group. And that way when I'm sharing, now it's a shareable post so other people can share. It's got my link in there, but like almost admin don't even catch it because it's been shared within a post, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to visualize. But I even post like quotes or something like that, not even keto related. And I'll just share it to get my group name out there. I did a quote and I just shared it to like it was a funny quote or something. And I shared it to a bunch of like funny groups and people just kept sharing and sharing and sharing it. And I'm getting all these random people because my link is going all over the place and not even like on purpose. So that's how I use my business page. I don't really use it as a main source of like getting customers.
And that was actually going to be part of my next topic as well, because I've been doing the exact same thing with TikTok. So I have to tell you that TikTok is a whole nother sort of monster. And I'm going to have Lindsay talk about this too in just a few minutes. But what you can do, and this is something I just learned like within the past couple days, is that I can go onto TikTok and I can create a video, right, of myself cooking some sort of recipe. Now, I am not a big cook. I am definitely not a big baker. Like I don't do it all that often. So I find really, really, really simple things that I can make. And then I just record an entire video of myself doing it, right? Start to finish. Um, and then I have a little app, and I'm going to show you that app in a minute, that I can like cut and paste and splice parts of it up, like bits of it apart. But what I found I can do is, once I have that video and I have made it and I've shared it to TikTok, many, many, many of the groups will let you share a TikTok video. Well, when I share that TikTok video, and TikTok will literally send me a notification like, hey, Carrie watched your video that you shared on blah, 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 right? And I get a notification that they're watching the shared video. They didn't get to it directly from TikTok. They got to it from wherever else and then went into TikTok to watch it. Well, now my link is in there, right? My group link is in there. I'm getting people from my TikTok, well, from Facebook into TikTok. They're coming right back to Facebook and following me again, right? So people that are just on TikTok might not be on Facebook, but when I share that into Facebook and they watch it on TikTok, they're already on Facebook. So then they come back and follow, right? If that makes sense. So very, very similar to the business page thing, except that you can get away with it by sharing the video content that you're already creating. Okay, so here was my issue with TikTok, right? Everybody kept saying TikTok's where it's at. TikTok is growing. And I'm like, I am not creative. I don't know what to make on TikTok. I don't want to dance. I'm not into doing like funny, silly videos, right? Like we went to Dallas in the summer and Lindsay wanted us to dance. And I was like, I'm not dancing, which I did dance, and it was a lot of fun. And we did have a really good time making it. But I was like, I don't want to dance on TikTok. So I was like, I'm never going to be able to use this platform because what the heck am I going to do? And then I realized recipes on TikTok are exploding. And I mean exploding. I told Sam this, I think it was yesterday that we talked, not this past Thursday, but Thursday a week ago, I had 180 followers on TikTok, 180. I am now up to 9,900 and some odd number, hopefully 10,000 by the end of the night tonight, in 1 week, because the recipes are just getting shared and shared and shared, and the content is everywhere. And so I took that, and I don't even have that many videos, and I just started putting them into keto for beginner recipes, low carb recipe groups, whatever, anywhere that doesn't say you are not allowed to share a TikTok video. I've been sharing them, and my Facebook group is back to growing as well. So that was the biggest thing. But like, so let's say you're like me and you're like, I don't have any content. I don't have any ideas. I have no idea what to post on TikTok. I feel like I'm like too old to learn a new platform, right? Just me. I was there. I don't get it. I didn't understand it. Had to have my 12-year-old help me with some of it. But basically, the best suggestion that I have for you is watch TikTok. Watch videos. Just scroll through, right? There's a reason that it's addictive, and it's because you can just watch and scroll super, super quickly. If it's interesting, stop and watch it. The longest video is 3 minutes. So if it's not interesting, keep scrolling, and you'll find that you see the same things over and over and over again. You see the same dances, you see the same challenges, you hear the same songs, you see the same recipes, you see so much of the same stuff. Just recreate it yourself. Nobody says it has to be like your fancy recipe that you made up from scratch. Just reshare, make it your own by making it you. That's literally it. That's it. I mean, I don't think I have a single, well, maybe I have one recipe that I created in my brain that I was like, oh, this is probably good. I'm going to try this. The rest of them is somebody else that I've seen. And like the one of them was Lindsay's, and I shared like credit with her, and I said like this, I learned this recipe from my friend Lindsay at Fasting Keto Mom, right? You can do that. People are still watching you. They might also go and watch her. but this is how we grow, right? Okay, so I am going to let Lindsay talk while I look for the content that I wanted to show you. And Lindsay, what have you learned so far from doing some of TikTok over the past couple weeks? I know this is all new to you as well. We're both pretty new to this, and Carrie has been doing amazing on her TikToks as well.
What have I learned? I can't dance. Let's see. No, for real though, it's, I haven't had the explosion Lesley did, but it's all about what I've done is I've done a lot like of research. So sometimes you do this mindless scrolling on Facebook and stuff, and you don't feel like you're ever doing anything. But on TikTok, I feel like I'm doing research. And what I've found is I come across these videos and it's like, someone shares a recipe that involves, a tortilla and a piece of broccoli, and it has like 800,000 shares. And you're like, what? And then you'll post something that's like, you're like, okay, this is it. Like, this is going to be every day. I joke and I tell my family, like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just recording my next viral sensation. Just give me a second. Okay. And then like, it might get 5 views, but it's like, I'm going to find that thing that's like my tortilla with broccoli. You just have to find it. And it's like, it's a lot of experimentation because you don't know what hashtags are going to work. You don't know what time of day is best. Sometimes you post. I did a video the other day. People love dogs. And so I had a funny video of my husband. Our puppy does not listen to him at all. And it was like him just chasing the puppy around. And it had 5,000 plays and over 130 likes on Instagram in about 5 to 10 minutes. And on TikTok, it had like 120 views total. Like, it's just the world, they're different. Every day I'm like, what is going on here? I'm racking my brain. But the biggest thing is you just have to play with it. So I went from 54 followers to 1,100 in less than a week. So mainly because of a video I put out for a pumpkin cake, and it has 20,000 views, several hundred shares. And I just started doing the same thing. I started posting all my TikToks on my business page, and I see people finding them that way and viewing them that way. So, the reality is, and I told Lesley this, it's been really discouraging for me lately on Facebook. I just, in my heart of hearts, feel like, we kept hearing the summer months are slow. And I think that's true in a way, but I just think that Facebook is just changing, and you either change with it or you stop growing. And I'm not the kind of person that just wants to throw down the gloves and say, I'm done. And if I'm going to go down, I'm going down swinging, and I have to figure something else out. So that's what I'm doing. It's been fun, honestly. Like, I was doing some kind of push-up, shoulder tap, jumping around thing today, and it hurts, and I looked like an idiot doing it. And I have about 86 drafts saved, and I'm like, should I post this? I've got a lip sync to like salt and pepper in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna post them. I'm just gonna put them up because it's all about creating content. The more you put up, you just don't know what's gonna resonate. So even if you're making something and you're like, who the hell's gonna care about my banana with the raisin on it? Like, who's gonna care about this? But somebody out there is gonna be like, this is brilliant. Like, this is amazing. This girl's a genius, and they're gonna share it like 48,000 times. So you just don't know. So whatever you're making tomorrow, doesn't matter what it is. It could be like a microwave egg in a mug. I'm not kidding. Like, do the video, just post it. I had no content today. We went to Chick-fil-A. Yes, I sucked on my reboot, by the way. I don't know if anybody are actually doing it, but I was like, we ate dinner last night and we had a lot. And today I was like, I made it to 3 o'clock. I'm like, F this, I've got to eat. So we went to Chick-fil-A, and I got a side salad, a kale salad, and grilled chicken nuggets. And I literally did a video that said, eating out does not have to throw you off course. Here is how you can stay low carb at Chick-fil-A. And I showed them what I got, did a voiceover, and posted it. So anything, lip sync, dance, do push-ups, anything. So just play with it, have fun.
Just on that note, like, I literally so I set a goal for myself for October that I was going to do one TikTok and Instagram reel every single day. Okay. Now, that sounds like more complicated than what it is, because remember, I'm using the same, whatever I use on TikTok, I'm also using on Instagram. And Lindsay is absolutely right. It never fails. If I make a TikTok that does really, really well, it will bomb on Instagram. And if it does really well on Instagram, it will bomb on TikTok. I don't know why. I have racked my brain trying to figure it out. I can use the same hashtags. I can use the same sound. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem like there's ever one that does well on both, right? Like so far, I have not had one that has done well on both. But doesn't matter. Just post it. Put it out there, put that content out there. But so the other day I was like, I have no content. Like I do not know what I want to do. I don't feel like cooking today. I was like, just not having it. I went to the grocery store, right? And I literally filmed myself standing outside of Aldi. I don't know if any of you have an Aldi, right? But I literally filmed myself and said, hey guys, it's Lesley and I'm at Aldi and I'm going to take you with me to find some low carb and keto options. And then I went and I shut it off, right? And I went into the store and everything I picked up that either said keto on it or that I knew was low carb or keto, I literally filmed it and filmed the price, filmed it, filmed the price, filmed it the whole way through the store. That's all I did. I took it home. I fast forwarded it so that it was like, super fast so that it fit into a minute and I posted it. And it's got like 5,000 views. It was nothing. Like literally, I was walking through the grocery store doing what I was going to do anyway. And I didn't have to buy all of it, right? Like I didn't have to bring it home. It was just like, oh, this looks good. Oh, this looks good. Film whatever. It does not matter. Now, Lindsay does something really cool I don't know how to do. She does her whole entire video in TikTok, and she could do a training on that if you want. I'm going to quick show you the app that I use just to show you how simple this can be. And this is really helpful for me because I do share it on both platforms. So I use something called Adobe Rush. It's also free. All right. So I go in here and I can just click to upload whatever I've recorded, right? So let's say I recorded today, this one. It's 1 minute and 41 seconds long. Okay. I think I actually already did this one, but I'm just going to show you. Now I can sort of stretch this out. It doesn't change the time, but I can stretch it out and shrink it down so I can see it more. And then I can fast forward like, okay, here I'm getting ice. Well, nobody cares if I'm getting ice, right? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click cut and I'm going to come back to wherever I'm back. And I'm going to click cut again. And then I'm going to take that piece in the middle that nobody gives a shit about and I'm going to delete it, right? Super, super simple. I can click on each part and I can go, nobody wants to hear my kids yapping in the background. So mute, right? Now you can see this whole clip here is 1 minute and 23 seconds long. Well, that's too long. Nobody's going to watch that whole thing. So we're going to fast forward that. We're going to make it, let's go 300. That one's 300. That one's 300. Oh, good. Now my clip is 30 seconds long. Well, that's still not really long. Like I only want it to be 15 seconds because I want to put it in an Instagram story. Let's bump that up to 500. Oh, look, now I got 16 seconds. There you go. There's my whole entire video. Me quick making my ketones this morning, right? Boom. Now, the other cool thing that I can do with this, and I do this with all of my videos, is I can go over here and this little thing that looks like different lines, that will give me other options like overlays that I can do. And now I can sit here and I can hit the record button and I can talk like, hey guys, it's Lesley and today I'm mixing up sweet jam with lemon Mitoplex. Now it's not going to work because I'm already on this call, but it will literally, I can watch the video play as I'm talking and it will record it right along with it. And then I can even clip my, just like I cut and pasted my video, I can cut and paste my audio. So if I screw up, I can click a cut out part. And then once it's all said and done, once I have the video that I like, I have the audio that I like, I just hit the little button up here, I export it. And boom, I have that saved to my phone. I can now save it to TikTok. I can now save it to or post it to Instagram. I can post it to my Instagram stories. I can post it to my Facebook business page, my group, whatever. I now have that right in my gallery, right here at the top. Super, super slick and simple. I know it
Lesley, what
doesn't,
was the name of that app?
it's called Adobe Rush.
Adobe Rush. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it takes a little bit of time playing around with it. But yeah, literally it's pretty intuitive. I can put pictures into it. So when I uploaded that video, I can upload a photo at the beginning, a photo at the end. I can put a photo right in the middle. I can take clips and if I hold it down, I can move it around in there. So like the other day I realized at some point in time, I videoed my oven preheating with the temperature like in the middle of my recipe. And I was like, that doesn't need to be there. So I literally just moved that clip over to the end where I was putting my recipe into the oven. So it's, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. There's a learning curve, right? Like I can't teach you every single thing you need to know. I can give you as many tips and tricks as I can, but it's going to take a little bit of trial and error and playing around and learning to do some things on your own. And that's scary and overwhelming sometimes, but we're here to help and answer any questions that you have. But it does require a little bit of effort on your part to learn to do it yourself as well. Make sense? Questions? Okay, so when you're thinking about what kind of content to create, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram Reels, whether it's your business page, whether it's your group, what is going to make you happy? What brings you joy? What do you think, like, what would be fun for you to do, right? Like Lindsay used to do every morning, she would do a dance party, right? Because she liked it, because it was fun. If it's a job and if it's like work that you're like stressing and you're struggling to do every single day, it's not going to be fun and you're not going to want to keep doing it. So look for those things that make you happy, that make you joy, and that you're already doing. If you're already going to make fat bombs today, set up your camera and record yourself making the fat bombs, right? If you're already going to make a quote and put it on all of those different platforms. Just use it multiple times to make it more worthwhile. Okay, and here is the final thing. If you have gotten to the point where you have 1,000 followers on TikTok, or you have an audience on Instagram, just like your Facebook group, go live, okay? Talk to people. They want to hear from you. They're following you. They're watching you for a reason. And the coolest thing about TikTok, the thing that I love the most about going live in TikTok is that once it's gone, right? So if I go live in TikTok and I flub it all up and I have no idea what I'm saying and I'm like, whatever, you know, I have no idea, it's gone. It doesn't matter. So only the person that happens to be watching at that moment where you mess it all up are the only one that knows, nobody else. So do it again the next time. Just keep trying. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. The more you talk to people, the more your words will flow out easily, the more you'll know what you're talking about, and you'll just feel better about it. And the more people that get to know, like, and trust you, the more people will return and follow you and become your customers. So go live on whatever platform you might be using, whatever it might be. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
This was freaking awesome, and I'm so excited to go use these new apps like right now.
They're really cool. It takes a little practice, but they're really cool.
And I was gonna say one thing too, like Lesley asked me yesterday, she goes, would you mind talking a little bit what you're doing and like what apps are you using? And I said, I'm using TikTok and Instagram, and I didn't even know like that using outside apps was a thing. So don't even stress. If you have to start somewhere, just know that everything you need is in TikTok. So I literally will get my phone, and my lighting is horrible. It's like me mixing and holding. I mean, it's not anything fancy. I just take a little snippet, stop, stop. And then I do a voiceover with the voiceover button. I change the volume and the sounds and add my little words or whatever. It's all done in TikTok. So I have not even touched an app. So if you're really ready to get started and play around, just know that you don't have to master anything else. Just get in TikTok and try it and play around. So.
And if you happen to have a friend, neighbor, kid that like is in that preteen, teen age, guaranteed they know TikTok and they can help you use it. I know, like, I honestly, I had taken TikTok off of my daughter's phone for quite a while because I would find her just like randomly scrolling it. So we deleted it. I let her get it back just to help me with learning some of the new tips and tricks. But it also gets locked out now whenever we're not in it together. But you can always get help from from a kid that knows more than you do about TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever. I do find it to be helpful, although she thinks that I'm a big dork, so she doesn't really want.
Oh, I'm cringy. I'm pretty sure it's a compliment, right? That's all I'm saying. Like, Mom, stop putting those words on your videos. It's really cringy. I'm like,
yes. Oh yeah, I get all the time, like, don't ever use that word again. I'm like, you use it all the time. They're like, but you can't use it. I'm like, why not? Anyway, all right. So that's all the different platforms that you can use in person, social media, whatever. There is no wrong way to do this. The only wrong way is to quit and give up, right? Like, that's the only way to fail at this business, is to completely give up. There are so many different avenues that you can take. Yes, it's hard right now. Yes, we're all struggling. But and I know somebody is going to give me shit about saying this tonight, but the one thing that I have learned from this business is when something isn't working or something is wrong, you have to pivot. And pivoting is just like, it sucks. It's the word that none of us want to use, but it is so true. If it's not working over here, shift your attention over here, right? There is something that will work. You just have to find what will work for you. So
yeah, can I just say one more thing really quickly? One thing my husband said to me too was, he said, you know, I'm always stressing, and he's like, unless, I don't know if you saw my video I did with he and I with the Kevin Hart comedy on TikTok, but it basically was like, why does when my husband asks why he has to help with home projects, and it's like, okay, because you're my best effing friend, okay, and it's like, so it's like he's my best. So I tell him everything. I'm always complaining about everything, whining about everything, and I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do with this? What it is? And he's like, just who cares? Just have fun. The whole point of TikTok is to have fun, to get people there, and then you can direct them and kind of lead them where you want them to go. And so that's really what it is. That's all I've kind of been doing, is just having fun with it. So I would just encourage you to have fun with it. And I know we're all superstars when we have our music in the car and we're lip singing, and that's a video. That's a video. Like, seriously, it's a video. Put some work quote to it, make it cringy, and post it.
Exactly. We're all recording ourselves all the time. We're all taking pictures of ourselves all the time. Put it to music, right? Put your before and afters to music. Follow some other promoters and see what they're doing and what they're posting. I probably 3/4 of the people that I follow, if not more than 3/4 of the people that I follow, are other promoters, to see what kinds of things are working for them and what they're using. This is not all about you coming up with, like, you know, the most unique idea. It's about you displaying yourself and having fun with it. So,
and I said to myself, when was the last time, seriously, I have added 1,100 people to my group in less than a week. It's been a long, I mean, you have more in your group now than you did when, it's like in less than a week, you have more in your TikTok than you had in your Instagram and Facebook. So it's like, it's a message. It's saying something. It's an audience. Go find them.
In 1 week, in a week and a half total, I have more people following me on TikTok than I have been able to add to my Facebook group in 20 months. Like, think about that. And I will tell you, I have gone live on TikTok 3 different times, and every single time I have gone live, I have had substantially more views than I have ever had on a single Facebook Live. And TikTok will tell you how many of your followers are active right now. So when I hit that button to go live, before I hit the start button, it'll say 1.1 thousand of your viewers are active right now. Now, does that mean 1.1 are going to watch me? No, but they're on there and they have the ability, and you know how many are on there. Like, if I get on and it says you have 5 viewers active right now, I'm probably going to go, I'm not going to waste my time, right? But you never know that with Facebook. You might go live and have the best live ever and nobody's on to watch it. So those are just things to keep in mind when it comes to trying something new and so on. Okay, so that was the end of the content that I wanted to talk about today. I'm actually going to stop the recording, and then I wanted to talk to you real quick about Epic.